It's the Elysabeth Alfano Show right here on WCGO. It is so exciting to be back with you. I have a great guest in studio, but before we get to that, I am going to break down some plant-based news. It's what I always do on this show because the Elysabeth Alfano Show is the only plant-based radio show in the nation. So thanks for belling up to 1590 AM and 95.9 FM in Chicago, or maybe you're listening on the WCGO Radio Facebook page or the Jane Unchained Facebook page or WCGRadio.com, or maybe you've just said, hey Alexa, play me WCGO. No matter how you got here, I'm so happy that you're with me. And actually, if you have a friend or a cousin who is listening in some other state, and they want to get the plant-based radio show, the only one in the nation, just tell them to tell their local station that they can get the Elysabeth Alfano Show free and clear on the Smart Talk Radio Network. Okay, folks, I got some news to break down. So, Illinois, I love you. According to the Animal Legal Defense Fund, Illinois, again, for something like the 13th, it might even be the 14th year in a row, is the #1 state for animal welfare laws. Mississippi, you're coming in at number 50. You might want to change that. Some great news coming out of London. 1 million plant-based chicken sandwiches were sold at Kentucky Fried Chicken. This from Plant-Based News. The director of KFC UK and Ireland, Ira Dubinsky, said, the Colonel was all about welcoming everyone to his table. Now vegans, flexitarians, and our fried chicken fans, that's basically all of us right there, can enjoy the taste of the original recipe together. We've worked really hard to perfect the flavor, just with zero chicken. I like it. Great news coming from Miyoko's. We all know her for her fabulous cheese. You see, it pays to listen to the Elysabeth Alfano Show because Miyoko's Creamery is giving away 15,000 free grilled cheese sandwiches. So here's how you want to get yours. They have new nut-free cheese. Of course, they've always had vegan cheese, but now they've got nut-free cheese. It's made of potatoes, oats, and legumes. They are taking their truck to Los Angeles, Oakland, San Francisco, Portland, Seattle, Boise, Denver, Austin, New Orleans, Atlanta, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York, Boston, Cincinnati, Chicago, and Minneapolis. So you want to be on the lookout for that starting March 4th. At the same time, Miyoko's is suing California. They're suing California Department of Food and Agriculture on a free speech issue because it has been demanded that Miyoko's remove terms such as dairy and butter from packaging, even though it clearly says that the products are vegan and plant-based. We'll be following Miyoko's because we love her. But she's not the only one that we love, and we're not just talking about cheese and butter. I, of course, have with me today, you've all seen on my social media, the founder of Before the Butcher, and of course this new family of plant-based burgers, this UnCut line that I'm excited to talk about. Danny O'Malley, thanks for being with me.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm glad that you're here. So everybody who's watching on Facebook, some visuals. UnCut.
Yay, look at that.
UnCut. So chicken, turkey, the regular burger, and also the breakfast sausage patty.
It is awesome.
I'm going to be eating all of these today, so Danny's going to be doing the talking because I'm really too busy eating. So tell me, how did these come to be?
Well, it's a long story, but I'm going to keep it short. And we've got the burgers coming in right now.
Oh, come on. Just bring the food, people.
Chef Brendan cooked up the burgers for us today, so we're gonna try the burgers. Look at how did it come to be? What a story it's going to be for me to tell it all to you. But it really started with me working for one of the innovators and leaders. Look at that one.
Holy gosh. Oh, is this chicken?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Because we were talking chicken before. I'm all about chicken just because the animals are so poorly.
When we created that one, that was my favorite immediately. It is so good.
Okay, I'm going to dive into this, but maybe before we get into the long backstory, because I know we're going to go to break at any point soon, tell me really what you're doing now, because you originally started in food service.
That's right.
And then you went to retail. Why did you make that shift and what your focus is right now?
Well, it was strategic. We made a decision to go into food service. I can't believe you're eating on it's good, huh? We decided to go into food service. I have a strong background in food service, and that was, I thought, the best place for us to start because you're kind of behind the scenes, if that makes sense. Once you get into retail, you're really face forward, especially in social media, and people recognize you, see on the shelves. You want to make sure you're doing everything right. So
yes.
When we stepped into food service, we had an opportunity to kind of be behind the scenes, work with consumers, operators, and talk to them about what they wanted. And I had some really good ideas because, as I was saying a little earlier, as I started in this very specific industry, plant-based and plant-based proteins, with the leader and innovator in the space, which is Beyond Meat. So I was there for 3 years. I left after 3 years to start Before the Butcher, and we dove right into plant-based. We dove right into food service. That was September of 2017, believe it or not.
Oh my
Time
gosh.
goes so fast, it's crazy.
And you have made such steps in such short time.
Yes. We have. So I have an incredible team that helped develop the products. And by April of 2018, we were on the market in Los Angeles and Southern California in food service. And then we just started moving forward. I mean, we were very fortunate right out the gate to work with some high profile accounts like SpaceX and Google and Yahoo and just some really cool corporate accounts, and they really embraced us and helped us grow right out the gate. We were across the country in food service within 6 months.
Oh my
so
gosh.
we were distributing nationwide by October, and then we knew that we were comfortable with what we were doing. We released, to start with, 8 SKUs, 8 items.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really cool. It's not what you're trying right now. What we released, we had ground, so we had a ground
in food service.
In food service,
right.
So we had a ground beef, we had a ground Italian sausage, a chorizo, crazy good, pulled pork, chicken chunks, beef tips.
Holy cow.
Really good stuff, right? So what we did that for a reason. We wanted to be strategic. We also knew that we wanted variety that our competitors don't have or didn't have at that time. Really, they don't have. We have 13 SKUs now with our burgers. So.
And I think it's very smart that you came out with a turkey burger, which I haven't yet tried, but the chicken was kind of off the chain, everybody, I gotta say. But turkey, no one that I know of is doing a turkey burger.
Right.
And a lot of people make that, I think, erroneous assumption that, if I don't have a beef burger but I have a turkey burger, I'm somehow doing something better for my health. Of course, that's not accurate. So I love the fact that you just have that flavor out there of a turkey burger.
We do. It's interesting when we knew right out the gate that we wanted to do more than one burger. We did the burger first. It's challenging. You can't just throw these together in your kitchen. You really need some talented people to help you make these type of products. So we were the third one to hit the market with a plant-based burger that actually mimicked meat, beef, right behind Beyond Meat and Impossible.
Right.
We were the third ones to hit the market, and we realized very quickly that we needed to separate ourselves. So we thought, how are we going to do that? Let's do something nobody else is doing. And so we looked at the turkey burger, the chicken burger, our breakfast sausage, and I thought initially, hey, we're going to do one poultry. And they're both so good. We said, no, we're going to do them both.
2 poultries. So when we come back from break, I want to hear about what's actually in these things, because that's been in the news a lot lately. So it's the Elysabeth Alfano Show right here on WCGO. I'll be back with Danny O'Malley. Hey everybody, I'm Jane Unchained. I hope that you're getting all this. We're live on WCGO. Danny's fantastic. I'm not kidding. Off the charts chicken. Off the charts. I want to keep eating, but I have to talk. Off the charts. And I'm about to try, and I had the breakfast sausage, super good. I'm about to try the turkey. I really want to get into that. So thanks for being here, everybody, on Jane Unchained. All right.
Good.
So first segment is underway. Yeah, I'd love to talk about soy. I think it gets a very bad rap.
It does.
And let's fix that now. We can talk about how great you are with your Fabby Award, and then let's really get into the story of how you started and all that sort of stuff. We talk about food service. People just business advice. Yeah, got to talk about your meat thing. Okay, this is all for me in my head. And then when we come back, I really want to talk about general business.
Yeah.
So we got 2 more segments on the Love Doctor. Go super fast.
Love Doctor.
I feel much better now that the tech is working. Could have gone the other way.
That's the hurdle, right?
That's the hurdle.
Past the tech.
We're on a quick commercial break, folks. We're coming right back. Jane Unchained. So love my Jane Unchained. What's this one?
That's the regular burger. That's
the
our original burger.
Okay. Wonderful.
The original uncut burger.
Can you me a favor, sir?
Of course.
Would you mind going in the bathroom and getting me a little bit of Kleenex so I can use it as a napkin? Or toilet paper, whatever. Oh, I should have just, yeah. Well, you okay? Need anything?
I'm okay.
Okay, we're coming back in 30. Sorry if I seem like a little high strung. Just
B, grab the Kleenex and just set it on the corner so it's just available. Thank you.
Is there a particular ingredient list you prefer that I read?
The regular burger. That would be the best one to take a look at because there's some things I want to point out on that. Especially the sodium. The sodium. Really low.
Oh, we are back at it right here on WCGO. It's the Elysabeth Alfano Show, and I have the very fabulous Danny O'Malley with me, founder of Before the Butcher, which has this line of uncut burgers out: turkey burger, chicken burger, regular burger, and the breakfast sausage. So let's talk about what is actually in these, because I think plant-based burgers have been getting a bad rap lately. Kind of makes me mad, quite frankly, and I'm going to run down the differences between the meat burger and a plant-based burger. But before I do that, tell me what's actually in your plant-based burgers.
So it's really a blend of non-GMO soybean with oils that help with the kind of umami feel to it. So we have a refined coconut oil, and we also have canola oil in there as well. And then spices, we have a proprietary spice flavor blend that help with the flavors.
Wonderful.
And it's fairly simple, though for some people it seems complicated because it's more than one or two ingredients. But that's what it takes to put these type of products together. What's really key in our burger is the sodium, and it's really important. We tried really hard to limit our ingredients, and we have less than the major competitors on the market. Most of them have 16 or 17. We have 13 ingredients. But the key on the sodium is we have 260 milligrams of sodium.
11% of the daily.
Yeah, which is really low for these type of products. There are many that are 400, 500, 600, 700 milligrams, and a lot of people are concerned about that, and they should be.
I understand this. I want to do a quick rundown. I've done this before of the medical, environmental, let's say, well, medical first, comparisons between a meat burger and a plant-based burger. I get this from the past president of cardiology, Dr. Kim Williams, who's also the current head of cardiology at Rush Medical Center. So, you know, a meat product is not obligated to tell you what's in it. So people assume that because they don't have to label things, it's just meat. Of course, it is not just meat. So what's in a meat burger is going to be TMAO, trimethylene monoxide, very bad for us. Animal heme, also very bad for us. What's going to be in meat? It's going to be cholesterol. Yeah. So that's not going to be in a plant-based burger. It's going to be the same on protein, give or take. Going to be the same on calories, going to be the same on sodium, except maybe yours are going to be lower. But also, plant-based burgers are going to have some fiber. Cannot have a healthy diet without fiber. Meat, unbelievably, when I realized this, I was in shock. Meat has no fiber. That's why it sits in your stomach, which your intestines are quite long, sits there for quite a while. Of course, plant-based isn't going to have hormones, antibiotics, this kind of stuff. So, is this a carrot? No, this isn't lettuce. It's not a radish. It's not a carrot. But it is much better for you than the meat. So I will leave it at that.
Well, there's a purpose.
As well.
Yeah, there's a purpose behind it. It's greater than our own personal health. It's the health of our planet and the animals as well. And I think that's really important to talk about that too. And we create these products for meat eaters, for people that are looking for alternatives, but keep them in their comfort zone. You know, comfort food is really important to us. That's the way we eat. And if we can produce something that's so similar to what you're used to eating in an animal-based product, why wouldn't you try it?
Yes, because there's so much to gain. Yeah. I'm quoting a study from the University of Michigan. It is with the Beyond Burger, but I think it's probably going to be pretty comparable to you. Sure. A plant-based burger saves 99%, uses 99% less water, 93% less land, 90% less greenhouse gas emissions, and 40% less energy used. So a lot to gain there, and then we haven't even discussed animal welfare, which obviously a huge issue. So
of course, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about soy. Now I know Beyond Meat has been really proud about the no soy option and the Impossible Whopper burger, and you as well. Yeah. You have soy. I always feel like soy gets a very bad rap, so let's address that here. Soy, why soy?
Yeah, it actually gets gets a bad rap really just in the U.S. Other parts of the world, they embrace it. If you go to Asia, think about the healthiest places in the world, or at least what we perceive. So Asia, right?
Yes.
Ethnically, we think of Asian people as being healthier overall. Well, they eat 3 times what we eat in soy, and they've been doing it for thousands of years. This is a fantastic protein. It is a complete protein.
It is a complete protein, you guys. Get that?
It is a complete protein, and it is, in my mind, the best complete protein. And it just offers incredible texture, bite and chew, and it's actually a protein that's fairly easy for us to flavor so it tastes more similar to the meat or animal-based proteins we're used to.
So just a couple more medical facts, not from me because I'm not a doctor, but again here I'm going to quote Dr. Neil Barnard, who now has a new book out about hormones in you and trying to keep that balance. Soy, being a phytoestrogen, is actually very helpful for women as, later on in years, but also during pregnancy as well. And they talk about how Asian women have hot flashes, menopause, blah, 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 blah. They have that a lot less because they've been eating soy their whole lives. And also, I want to put to rest the fallacy that soy gives men man boobs. That would mean that all of Asian men would have man boobs and none of them do.
Yeah.
So that should put that to rest.
Total misconception, and that's been inflated on the internet, obviously, and social media. It truly is not true.
Not true.
It's the opposite, actually, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
It really does the opposite of what you would think or may believe, which is untrue.
It's actually very good for you. So hashtag get your facts. Okay, well, let's talk about some other stuff, which I think is really important. Now, you started before the butcher, and then you did sell it to a meat company. Explain this to me.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to clarify it for you is what I'm going to do.
Clarify
Okay.
it for me.
So I did. I'm one of the founders of Before the Butcher, and I run the company today. But we actually, we were acquired by investors that also own a meat company. So it's really our sister company. So the meat company is Jensen Meats out of San Diego. And we share a lot of synergies. It helped us grow very quickly. And we were fortunate to be a part of this family. And we are a family, which is really exciting. So they bought in, they understand how important it is for plant-based proteins to be a part of the diet around the world, not just because they're looking at growing internationally as well as we are. So we weren't bought by a meat company. We were actually acquired by investors who own a meat company.
Okay. Thanks for that clarification. I do appreciate that. And has it changed your philosophy, or are they meddling is really not the appropriate word? I apologize. Are they consulting, or how has it changed your life as you know it with Before the Butcher?
Well, I've actually, I don't know how to describe it. It's an interesting transition because we went from a really small startup to now a company that has joined in and has synergies with a very large meat company. So it's opened my eyes to hear stories about what they think about us and how they're defensive when it comes to plant-based, the meat, the cattlemen, and so on and so forth. And I think there's enough room today for all of us. We need to embrace the change together, and we all need to stop being so defensive, right? I think we just need to open up and realize that this world is not going to become a plant-based tomorrow. It's just not going to work that way. There is time and transition that needs to happen, and we need to work together, and there has to be a better understanding. And I think when you see these synergies that we have, and you're seeing very, very large corporations such as Tyson and Nestle.
Maple Leaf.
Yes.
Smithfield.
They're jumping. Smithfield is
Smithfield.
Huge. So they're jumping in head first, realizing that, hey, look, we have to embrace this too. And I think when we all look at it that way, it's different.
So I'd like to expand on that a little bit, and in the next segment we can even blow this out more. But I think although it's hard to embrace at first blush, I think it's a really good sign that these meat companies that we named are all, and more coming, are all getting into this business, because it's not going to go from a zero plant-based world to 100% a plant-based world without this transition. And if these companies are transitioning, it's meaning that they see that you can make money from plant-based. I wish I could say that the world functioned differently. It does not. No. It's not animal welfare that is turning people around. It is the possibility to make money. Yeah. They realize that there is the possibility to make money. They're building out and doing direct investment into factories. Lifelight, which is owned by Maple Leaf, has a 230,000 square feet in the heart of animal agriculture new factory, employing 460 people. You imagine a family of four, that's 1,800 people that are affected by paychecks from plant-based products. People get paychecks, they turn plant-based. This kind of progression, I think, is very good and very inspiring.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's important to realize that small startups like my company, Beyond was a small startup, Impossible, not for long because of all the money they raised so quickly, but we're all really startups. We cannot do this by ourselves. Knowing that these international, multi-billion-dollar corporations have made a decision to do it as well, that is the way we're going to create, and this wave is going to continue. We're at the tip of the iceberg. It's just going to keep trickling down in a very, very big way because they've joined us.
Yes, and that's really important. So one might say like, oh gosh, I'm really over-exaggerating here. The enemy has come in and taken over, but this is not accurate because it wouldn't have happened if you and Beyond Meat and Impossible weren't out there proving to them that this kind of world, this kind of money, this kind of profit is possible. Yeah. And the fact that they're hopping on with their big budgets and with their distribution channels, it means it will go a lot faster. It is really better for all of us. And I'll have to say, I think they're also doing the math in the back of their head, and they know that they want to make money in the future. We're going from 7 billion people on the planet to 10 or 11 billion people. But we're not getting more land, and we're not getting more water. So you do the math. And actually, animal agriculture is a bad mathematical equation anyway. You can make a lot more money with plant-based. So they're hopping on, and that means faster change.
Yeah, it's a broken system. Is what
it's a broken system.
And the way to repair it is plant-based. There isn't, look, I tell people all the time, you can eat the way you want. I'm not going to change the way you eat. You change that, right? But something has to happen. And it's already happening. It's going to happen around you or with you. You make that choice.
So I love that, and I riff on that, and I say something very similar. I'm not telling you what to eat. All I'm saying is it's super expensive to be unhealthy. Because in the end, your tax dollars are paying for the subsidies for meat and dairy, which then make you sick. And guess who's paying the health bill? Guess who's living their lives out on pills? That's you, my friend. So, it's in your best interest. Do it or don't do it. That's up to you. But really, the long term is in your best interest. So, okay, well, I think we've gotten that out. We only have a quick minute, but, I think there are many people who wish they were you. I wonder if you have any words of advice that you could give to startup plant-based businesses.
Wish that they were me. It's pretty crazy being me, but I'll tell you what.
It's crazy being me too.
Yeah. You got to go with what's in your heart and your passion. This is a passionate thing for me. This is the way I live my life. This is what I believe in, and this is what I do every single day. Not 5 days a week, 7 days a week. I wake up in the middle of the night thinking about it, and I do it. And that's what I would say to you. If this is something that you're passionate about, figure out a way to do it and do it.
Yes, I love that. Follow your passion. Everything else comes from there. It's the Elysabeth Alfano Show, the only plant-based radio show in the nation. Get it on your local station. I'll be right back on WCGO with Danny O'Malley. When I dance, it means that there's music happening. We are no longer live.
I can hear that.
Yeah, you can hear it. Good.
I can hear that.
Okay, we got a little bit into your motivation. I think we're doing well. Let's, we kind of talked about competitors. So we'll talk about consumer trends, millennials, all that kind of stuff. Any big hurdles that you see, your predictions for the future. I got a lot of mine out there as well that I have more to talk about. And then just some of your, what's your favorite snack? Just kind of some personal stuff. And then we'll go to the Love Doctor.
Okay.
So I'm very sorry if this is indiscreet. I don't mean it to be, but because we're talking to a love doctor and Valentine's Day is coming, are you single? I'm sorry. I'm only asking because we're going to talk to her.
I am dating.
Okay, great. Okay, so you're not single. Okay. Because I thought if you were single, then I would be like, okay, fine, veg love. It's a program. I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
No, it's okay.
Okay. I would, she's doing a TV show about it and stuff, so we'll just talk to her about how people can find. Vegan love is your.
There's somebody out there. There's like a match.
There's a match for everybody.
But there's a match.com for vegans.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I forget what it's called.
Maybe it's her.
Vegan.
Maybe it's her.
I don't know.
Is your partner vegan?
She's not.
Huh? Okay, we'll talk about that if you don't mind. Not dissing her. I'll start with myself. My partner was not vegan for like 5.5 years, but now he recently changed.
Oh,
so,
yeah?
Well, yeah, I
She's
won't put you
trying.
on the spot. Yeah. She's
No, it's
trying.
all right.
That's good. Good. Good, everybody.
She would be a flexitarian. That's the best way to describe her.
Okay, we love those. We love those people.
Which
They
is
are
our
part of the
number one
equation.
customer.
Oh, right. Okay, so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that for sure.
Oh, I definitely want to talk about it because most of my company is not vegan.
Even before it was bought out by Jensen, or acquired, excuse me.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Okay. Cool. We'll get into it.
Which is the demographic of my customer base.
Of your product, yeah. You're not making it for me, although I'll eat it. But
Well, I'm
I'm
making
sorry.
it for everybody.
Yes, of course.
I'll make it for myself, too.
Sorry. Oh, we are back. It's the Elysabeth Alfano Show, and I am here with founder of Before the Butcher, Danny O'Malley. So we were talking before the break about some business trends and that large meat companies are getting into the game. What is really driving the business?
Well, it's not singular. I can tell you that much. I think what's driving the business is threefold, and this is my opinion, but I think it's strongly rooted. One is health. I think that you can look at a little bit older generations like myself, baby boomers and above that are concerned about their health. They go into the doctor. Doctor says, "Hey, look, you need to, start eating healthier." How do you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Plant-based, right? And exercise and so on and so forth. And then as you move your way down to the millennials, they're concerned about the health of our planet, right? The environment and so on and so forth. But what I find really interesting is as you get even further down.
Gen Z?
Yeah, Gen Z. And the kids, I'm saying 8, 10, 12 years old, they're worried about the animals.
Oh,
they
thank
see
you.
videos and they go, "Mom, Dad, I'm not going to eat animals anymore because I saw this video." And there's a bunch of them out there that show animal cruelty and what's actually happening in animal or farming and agriculture with animals and so on and so forth. So I think those three different prongs all lead into one. Mm-hmm. And it's really the health of our planet. And I think that's really what's important here is there's an awareness that we've never had before. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it has to do with social media and our access to information like we never had.
Yes.
And people are aware, regardless of what the naysayers may say about our environment and what's happening.
Just look around you. Just be on the East Coast and experience a hurricane.
Right.
Just be on the West Coast and experience a fire. Just be in the Midwest and
Yeah.
experience a flood. Need I say more?
And we can make a difference. And one of the easiest and best places to make a difference is on your plate.
I love this. I love this. I want to repeat that in a different way maybe, but saying the same thing. The most important thing we can do for ourselves, for our health, for the planet, and for animals are the decisions we make 3 times a day on our plate. You don't have to wait 4 years to vote. What the heck? You can vote 3 times a day by the dollars you spend on your choices. You are extremely powerful. You might watch TV and think like, "Oh my God, the country's run by a bunch of crazy people on the left and the right." I mean, whatever, everyone, you watch the whole system and you're like, "Oh my gosh." But in fact, you are empowered because everybody responds to your dollars. Please don't forget this. You make a difference.
One person makes a
One
difference.
person.
You do. Absolutely.
Yay! Yay for us. Okay, so what kind of hurdles are we facing in the business world?
Well, the challenges have been, I think we're getting a little better, is being able to scale up and make this fast enough.
Right.
The consumer demand is off the hook.
It's awesome.
And then at the same time, we're scaling up as manufacturers, making sure that those who produce the ingredients that we need to make our products are scaling up at the same time and providing us with the ingredients we need. And that's the dual challenge we have today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's tricky business. It's a dance. You need to get those products, your base products, the soy that you're making these products with, your spices, you need to get those and get them in time for the delivery. It's a little bit like this radio show. There's a timing to everything and you have to really not miss it.
So plant-based is huge. I'm talking about plant-based proteins or plant-based analogs, meats per se, but it's so much bigger than that, right?
Yes.
It's just not the meats that we make as a company, but everything's plant-based or can be plant-based nowadays. So, I work out 5 to 6 days a week, and I have a plant-based protein that I drink afterwards. Well, that has, a soy protein or a pea-based protein or something in there as well. So it's not just us grabbing and reaching out for those proteins, those plant-based proteins. It's coming from snacks, all kinds of things, right?
Yes, it's so very exciting. So if you want to invest, basically, invest in the lower end products, right? The soy proteins, the things that are in high demand.
I think non-GMO is important, and we are non-GMO, so I think that's important. Most of the soy that's actually grown in the U.S. is genetically modified, and it's actually grown for feed. It's not grown to make products like ours.
Right, I know. You really want to stay away from anything that is not organic in terms of your wheat, your oats, your soy, your soybeans, your tofu, anything that you're eating, because a lot of the soy out there is, as you say, genetically modified because it's for cow feed. And then for those of you eating beef, you are taking that in. Boy, glyphosate, I think it's called.
Right. You are absolutely
very
right.
dangerous. Roundup. We're talking about Roundup, basically. Okay. Well, I also wanted to ask you, what are your predictions going forward? Where do you see things going?
Oh, there's no question about what's going to happen here. So first of all, we are at the point, and I'm talking specifically with plant-based meats like ours. The market's going to be saturated with burgers. The regular beef burger, and that's why we have a variety. That's why we're offering a variety of burgers. But international market, huge.
I can't wait. I really can't wait. In fact, David Young is going to be on this show, OmniPork.
Wow,
So great things happening. But Asia is in a huge market for seafood, of course, and for pork. Two things that you don't currently make at the moment. I don't know if that's changing, but
that's not true. We actually have a pulled pork, and then our breakfast sausage would be considered a.
Oh, is that right? Okay, well, I stand corrected. You are in the pork business, and of course it's the plant-based pork business, the kind that we like. Yes, but Asia, a huge market, huge amount of demand. I think that China is going to be, there are positives and negatives to how China runs itself. It's a dictatorship, I'll say, really. It's kind of, but at the same time they can say, okay, by 2022 everybody has to have an electric car. We're not talking about it, you must do it. I think they're going to say something very similar about plant-based, because they'd be better off in the trade wars if they had a more sustainable food source. They don't. It makes them very vulnerable when trading. I also think they're going to look very intensely at cellular agriculture, because then they could grow whatever they needed in a petri dish and not have to be, again,
Correct. I think that the government makes the choices as to what they're going to eat.
And they just determine.
And then that goes on the shelf, and that's what they eat. So, and
then of course coronavirus starting from fish markets, etc.
Yeah, it's very scary.
And they keep having this. Right now, China has African swine flu, Asian bird flu, and the coronavirus. All three going on at the same time. All animal agriculture related.
Right. Well, look, it's still a third world country, isn't it? I mean, you're talking about 1.5 billion people. And they're trying to corral that and understand how to control those kind of things. And it's not such an easy thing to do.
No.
We've been working on it here in the U.S. for 100 years probably, trying to control our food system and understand how to control those kind of diseases or viruses that are possible.
And we still get bouts here in the U.S. As well. So that's my prediction. Keep an eye on China for a shifting food policy. And
Asia as a whole.
Thank you for that. I think that's really exciting. And then my next prediction is that this is super fun. I was shopping and I was in the meat aisle, and what did I see? Just some of your competitors and you guys were all taking up like 5 feet of the meat case. The meat case is no longer going to be called the meat case. It's going to be called the protein case.
That's right. That's what we all want. That's what we strive for. That's where it's going. And what's happening right now is really interesting. So we know that Beyond Meat owned that space for a couple of years. Nobody else was in that space at all. That has changed. It started changing very late last year, 2019. We got into the space. A couple of our competitors got into the space. This year, it's going to be crazy.
I can't wait.
It's going to be crazy.
Please, it's a party in the meat aisle. I never thought I'd say this. It's so very exciting.
It's really cool. Even when I walk in there and, as an entrepreneur with a company, I'm like, I kind of cringe when I see more and more competitors, but it's so exciting at the same time. I love it.
And the boat rises, everybody lifts, or however that expression goes.
Well, I feel good. It's great.
I don't have too much time with you, so I want to get into some sort of personal stuff, if you don't mind.
Sure.
These questions are fast and just supposed to off the top of your head.
Okay.
Okay. What are we always going to find in your fridge?
Oh, you're always going to find vegan eggs, believe it or not. I love it.
Me too.
And you'll find a bunch of vegetables in there, and that's kombucha.
Oh, I'm a kombucha fan.
Yeah.
I live on it. Oh, you're so healthy, Danny O'Malley. Okay, what is your favorite snack? Could be junk food, could be not.
Oh, that's easy. Mixed nuts, unsalted. All the time.
Unsalted?
Oh my God! It's
Oh my
I
God,
love
heresy
mixed-
here in my studio.
Well, I have one other thing. I love peanut butter pretzels.
Ooh,
with
yummy,
salt.
yummy.
You gotta have salt.
Oh, there, okay. He's come around, people. Okay, so you have been traveling. You're promoting UnCut, this family of burgers that you have. You walk through the door. You haven't been home in a week. You're exhausted. What's the one thing you can walk through the door and make in 10 minutes? It's always good.
Oh, well, one of my burgers.
One of your burgers.
Of course, I choose
Well
one of my burgers. I
said.
throw it on there. It's done. Easy. That's easy.
What do you wish, this is a little bit longer, what do you wish that you knew 10 years ago that you know now?
Well, I honestly wish I knew on a very personal basis how to take care of myself the way I do today.
I know, me too.
Really, I wasn't vegan back then. I am today. That was a personal choice that I made, and it was the best choice I probably ever made in my life. It is incredible. I feel fantastic.
I know. I'll say the same thing for me. I wish I had gone vegan earlier for my health, but also I wish I had been advocating for myself earlier. I wish I just didn't take it at face value that the USDA has got my interests at heart or something. You have to advocate for yourselves and find what is best for you. Okay, you're having a bad day. Miraculously, something doesn't go Danny O'Malley's way. Is there a phrase that you live by? Something that you say to yourself always to pick yourself up?
Yeah, what I look at every single day is I say to myself, what I did today can get better tomorrow, and only I can change that.
Yes. The control is all yours.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I did today can get better tomorrow. I always like to say nose to the grindstone, eyes to the sky.
Yeah.
So, you know. Okay, so this is maybe a little bit longer, but we're going to kind of wrap up here. Do you have any pets? And if so, do you think they're any different than farm animals?
That's really heavy on my heart right now, and I'll tell you why. I wasn't going to get into this, but you asked the question. My Charles stopped breathing yesterday, and he's been with us. He's a major part of our family. Been with us for 11 years, and we were able to revive him. My son and I were able to revive him, and he's back today.
Oh my word!
I'll tell you. If you've had a pet in your life, and that pet is an important part of your life and your family's life, you know how I'm feeling right now. It's hard to give it up. That's your child.
Oh my God!
And so
family.
These are the children of our earth. Right?
Absolutely.
It's more than just the children that come from us. It is part of our lives as a whole. And we have to embrace that as well.
And we have to take care of our children of the earth.
Yeah.
We are sending down Danny O'Malley love. And of course, right up next, we have the Love Doctor. So stay tuned, everybody. Keep it locked. Jane, Unchained. I now have the Love Doctor. Well, she's not really a doctor. She is the founder of Find Veg Love, Corinne Charbonneau, which is her name, but she's gonna come remotely. So Danny and I are gonna put on our headphones. You're not gonna be able to hear us. So I'm gonna end the Jane Unchained video because we've had the fabulous Danny O'Malley. And please watch on WCGO Radio Facebook page so you can see the Love Doctor, Find Veg Love, Corinne Charbonneau. I'm going to her now. I love you, Jane Unchained.